Today has been called a day of rage in Egypt, and it's living up to the name.
Thousands of anti-government protesters.
These are amazing scenes. The police keep trying to disperse the protesters. See the protesters
fired back
pushing them
with
back.
rubber bullets and tear gas, and violent chaos and chaotic challenge they want him out.
So we started our Egyptian adventure in Cairo as tourists. We visited the Great Pyramids at Giza. We visited the Sphinx, and we also went to the Egyptian Museum before heading off into the White Desert for a 3-day, 4-night camping trip. It was while we were in the White Desert that the civil war broke out, and it wasn't until we came out that we realized what was happening within Egypt.
What we've seen taken to the streets today are not the 50, 60 activists that we've been seeing protesting in Egypt for the past 5-6 years. These were normal Egyptians.
They shot at us. Am I an enemy of the state? I came here to ask just for rights.
The protesters have lost their fear. They are determined to continue doing this. It doesn't show any signs of stopping.
We are breaking into programming here on Al Jazeera, 11:45 GMT, about 1:45 in the afternoon in Cairo, Egypt. Live continuing coverage here on Al Jazeera of a day of mass protests. They called it a day of rage.
We also spent a couple of nights in a Bedouin camp.
So out of time.
Oh, jeez. We also did a road trip to Luxor and went to the Temple of Karnak. And we also went on a donkey ride into the Valley of the Kings. And while in Luxor, we also visited the temple of Ramesses III, which was on the west bank of Luxor. And so we're still able to carry on touring around Egypt despite the civil unrest. And we also visited the mortuary temple of Queen Hatshepsut. She was the wife of Pharaoh Thutmose III. And this was during like the 18th dynasty of Egypt. And we also visited Deir-el-Medina, which was a village founded around 1492 BC for workers on nearby royal tombs. There's a curfew, so we have to be off the street soon. I'm bringing in the military. Okay, we're arriving into Aswan and the window is shattered. I'm not sure if someone's... Okay, so by the time we arrived into Aswan, the civil unrest had escalated. Curfews were in place. There was a lot of rioting. It wasn't really safe for us to travel around anymore. We were unable to do the 3-day cruise, Felucca cruise down the Nile, so we just did a little 1-day trip. And we also weren't able to go on hot air balloons above the Valley of the Kings, as when we arrived on the opposite side of the bank there were men with rifles and machine guns, and we were told if we got airborne we'd be shot down. So at this point it wasn't safe to continue on our tour, and we actually got a military escort to a hotel, and we were kind of in lockdown until we could get an emergency evacuation flight. Unfortunately, the Australian government didn't really help out too much, so we were evacuated to England.
And we're perhaps getting an emergency evacuation flight to London in the morning. So we're just relaxing, drinking and eating. And Hazem threw me in the pool and I'm wet.
So we were in lockdown at this hotel for 3 days before we could get our evacuation flight. And so we spent that time dancing, lounging by the pool, eating, drinking, playing pool, and just generally chilling and awaiting our flight. And we felt pretty safe at this time because we did have the military and a tank out front of our hotel for protection. So yeah.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye.